varies in group and period. So it is just opposite to electronegativity. What is electronegativity? The tendency of an element to attract the shared pair of electron, right? Now here it is a tendency of an element to lose electron. Okay, not donate is something different, lose electron, okay, related. So therefore the tendency of an element to lose electron is called electropositivity, and moreover electropositivity is a property of what? Molecular. It is a it is of course individual atom only, not molecule. It is isolated only, not in molecule, right? So therefore, so electropositivity is related to metallic nature, right? If an element has more electropositivity, it is more metallic. Therefore, electropositivity is the measure of metallic nature. If you want to measure the metallic nature, we need to see electropositivity. More electropositive, more metallic. So therefore, electropositivity is the measure of, right, metallic nature, and electropositivity is inversely proportional to ionization enthalpy. Yes or no? If an element has less ionization enthalpy, it can lose electron easily. If it can lose electron easily, therefore it is more electropositive and less ionization enthalpy. Therefore, ionization enthalpy is always inversely proportional to electropositivity. Next point. Electropositivity also related to ionic compound, ionic nature. How? If an element has more electropositivity, it can lose electron easily. It can form the ionic compound easily, right? That is cation, anion. No, ionic compound has cation. It can form cation easily. It can form ionic compound easily. So therefore, these are all points related to what? Electropositivity. Right on first definition. Electropositivity is the tendency of an element to lose electron. The tendency of an element to lose electron is called electropositivity. Next point. Electropositivity is the property of what? Metal, metallic nature. Electropositivity is the property of metal. Metal and metallic nature. So therefore, electropositivity is directly proportional to what? Metallic nature. More electropositivity, more metallic nature. But electropositivity is inversely proportional to ionization enthalpy. Right? How? Ionization enthalpy is decreases, metallic nature is increases, electropositivity increases. So therefore, electropositivity is inversely proportional to ionization enthalpy. Next, if an element has more electropositivity, it can lose electron easily, it can form cation, isn't it? Respective cation. It from respective cation, it can form ionic compounds. Therefore, an element with more electropositive, an element with more electropositive or electropositivity can form cation, no, can form cation easily and can also form ionic compound. Okay. Next, what is the variation? Variation in groups and period. Come on, tell me what happened electropositivity in group? Down the group is increases. Why? Down the group metallic nature increases, of course. Down the group ionization enthalpy decreases, isn't it? Down the group ionization enthalpy decreases, it can lose electron easily. Therefore, electropositivity increases. So can I write like this? Electropositivity down the group increases. You understand, no? This indicate group, down the group. Next, what happened electropositivity left to right? Of course, decreases now. So down the group increases, left to right is decreases. Next, in a given period, which group has highest electropositivity and lowest electropositivity? In a given period, alkali metals, no? Alkali metals, because a periodic element start with alkali metal. Alkali metals having highest electropositivity due to large size, right? And which group element have least electropositivity? Halogens. Halogens, because they cannot lose electron. It's very difficult. And which group element have zero electropositivity? Noble gases. They never lose electron, never gain electron. Therefore, in a given period, alkali metals have highest electropositivity, and halogens have lowest electropositivity. And what about noble gases? Yes, noble gases have zero electropositivity. Okay, now if you take any particular element in periodic table, alkali metals have highest, but which element has highest? Cesium. So therefore cesium has highest electropositivity in periodic table, right? Because alkali metal down the group is increases, because ionization enthalpy decreases. Next, in periodic table, which group element have least electropositivity? Halogens having least, but which element has? Fluorine, right? There is no exception. It is a fluorine. It is a least electropositivity, right? Next, now tell me, how does electropositivity is related to size? What is the relation between size and electropositivity is directly proportional to size. Yes or no? And moreover, you have written electropositivity directly proportional to metallic nature. Okay. Next, electropositivity directly proportional to reducing nature. More electropositivity, more reducing nature. Electropositivity, but inversely proportional to ionization enthalpy, already written. Okay, so it is about metallic and non-metallic nature. Non-metallic nature. Tell me, what are metals, what are non-metals, what are metalloids? First tell me, what are the metals? The elements which have tendency to lose electron. Usually metals have tendency to lose electron, non-metals have tendency to gain electron. Therefore, the element which has tendency to lose electron is called metal. Similarly, the element which has tendency to gain electron is called what? Non-metals. So therefore, usually metals are electropositive, right? So usually metals are electropositive, or they have more electropositivity, and usually non-metals are less electropositive or more electronegative, right? So therefore, the elements which are having tendency to lose electron called metals. Therefore, metals are generally electron losers. They can lose electron. Okay, next point. Right, so metal have tendency to lose electron. That means which metals, it means which elements can lose electron? Usually which are having high electropositivity, right? Therefore metals are generally right more electropositivity, they are having more electropositivity or less electronegativity. Okay, next, what about non-metals? So they have tendency to gain electrons. Non-metals have tendency to gain electrons. So usually non-metals are more yes, non-metals are generally more electronegative. Okay, now here important is metalloid. Tell me, yeah, what are metalloid? You should remember example. So metalloids are the elements which are having both metallic and non-metallic properties. There are some elements which are having metallic property as well as non-metallic properties. Such elements are called metalloid. That means they have both metallic and non-metallic properties. Okay, then tell me example. So example for metalloid is, carbon family, carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead, no? So usually carbon, silicons they are non-metals. Remember like this, non-metal, whereas silicon is a metalloid. Then tin and lead, they are usually metals. Do you know what is the meaning of this? Non-metal, metalloid, metal. Down the group metallic nature is increases. Right? So therefore in 14th group element, which is a metalloid, germanium is a metalloid. Next, tell me, in 15th group element, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. So here nitrogen, phosphorus generally non-metals. Arsenic is even arsenic, antimony both are having metalloid, both are metalloid nature, whereas bismuth is a metal. So it is also indicate that down the group metallic nature increases. So here next example is arsenic, antimony. Right. In 16th group element, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. Oxygen, sulfur, selenium, three are non-metals. Tellurium is a generally metalloid. This is a metal. So here is tellurium. So these are generally metalloids. Germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium. Okay, some book given that silicon also metalloid, but it has more non-metallic nature compared to metal nature. Okay. So these are example for non-metals. But no, usually we also take aluminium and zinc. Is it aluminium, zinc both are metalloid? No, metal. But here aluminium, zinc are a metal, but these oxides are amphoteric oxides. No, amphoteric oxides. Yes, Al2O3, ZnO. Even though these are metals, their oxides are amphoteric. It means they are having both acidic and basic nature. So zinc oxide is a amphoteric. It has acidic basic nature. Aluminum oxide amphoteric. It has both acidic as well as basic nature. But aluminium, zinc not a metalloid. They are metals. Whereas if you see germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium, these are all oxides are what? Amphoteric. It means in general metalloid oxides are amphoteric, but there are two metals, aluminium, zinc. Their metal oxide also, usually it's supposed to be basic. Metal oxides are basic, supposed to be, but it is a amphoteric. That point is important. Okay, then can you tell me, so what are the example for metal and non-metals? Which are metals? Tell me. All S block elements are metals, right? S block. Next is what? D block. All D block elements are metals, right? Next comes some of the P block. Okay, S block, D block, P block. So this is the order of metallic nature in periodic table. F block, generally they are radioactive. We won't study radioactive element here. S is more metallic, then D, then P. Okay, so therefore, now tell me, what is the variation of metallic and non-metallic nature? Variation in groups and period. Let us see first metallic nature. Come on, tell me, metallic nature is directly proportional to what? Electropositivity, no? Electropositivity. Electropositivity down the group is increases. It means, remember, important, metallic nature down the group is increases. You have to remember it. Increases. Right. Then next is in period. Tell me, what happened metallic nature in a period? So in a period, left to right is decreases. Why it is decreases? Yes, are decreasing electropositivity. So in a group, metallic nature increases due to increasing atomic size or increasing electropositivity. In a period, metallic nature is decreases due to decreasing atomic size or decreasing electropositivity, because metallic nature is directly related to atomic size, electropositivity. Right? Next, in periodic table, which group elements are more metallic? Come on. More metallic nature. Tell me, which group elements are more metallic nature? First A group, that is alkali metal. They are having highest metallic nature. Next, which group element have least metallic nature? Yes. Least metallic nature, that is 7th A group, nothing but halogen. Okay. Next, again in first A group, that is alkali metal, which element has highest metallic nature? Cesium. Highest is cesium. Okay, which has least metallic nature? Fluorine. Just like electropositivity, that's what we are written. Electropositivity directly proportional to metallic nature. It is about metallic nature. Next is non-metallic nature. Come on, tell me. Yes, non-metallic nature. What happened down the group? Down the group is decreases, no? Because metallic nature is increases. When metallic nature increases, non-metallic nature must be decreases. Next, non-metallic nature in period, it should be increases, because metallic nature is decreases. Next, metallic nature is related to reducing nature also. Come on, tell me. If you write relation between metallic nature and atomic size, tell me, it is directly proportional, no? metallic nature directly proportional to atomic size. Next, metallic nature is directly proportional to electropositivity, already written. Next, metallic nature inversely proportional to, yes, very good, ionization enthalpy. But important is metallic nature is directly proportional to reducing nature. This is important. Reducing power also. Reducing nature. Okay. Now there was one question appeared in previously. NEET. Metallic nature is directly proportional to reducing nature. Right. Then tell me, which group elements have high metallic nature? Alkali metals. So since alkali metals have high metallic nature, they are good reducing agent. Therefore, alkali metals are good reducing agents. Okay. Next, which group elements are good oxidizing agent? Halogens. Halogens now. Good oxidizing agent means they are non-metallic. So therefore, non-metallic nature directly proportional to non-metallic nature directly proportional to oxidizing nature of element. Tell me, which group element have highest non-metallic nature? Halogens. Therefore, halogens are good oxidizing agent. This was the question. Halogen, good oxidizing agent. Okay. Now here question is, halogens are good oxidizing agent and alkali metals are good reducing agent. But question is, which element is a strongest reducing agent and which element is a strongest oxidizing agent? So in previous class we have studied, usually it's supposed to be cesium. Cesium supposed to have highest reducing power. It is due to increasing metallic nature, but due to more hydration energy, lithium has highest reducing power. Therefore, in aqueous medium, it should be in aqueous only. In aqueous medium, lithium is a strongest reducing agent due to more negative hydration enthalpy, strongest reducing agent. Next, similarly, in aqueous medium, which element is a strongest oxidizing agent? Fluorine. In 17th group we study valency. So what is valency and types of valency, how to calculate valency? We'll see some important example. Come on, tell me, valency is different from valence electrons, right? Valence is different from what? Valence electrons. Come on, tell me, what is the valency? So valence is, it is the combining capacity of an element. It may be with hydrogen or oxygen, right? Like, for example, take X element. X element has tendency to form compounds. It may combine with hydrogen, it may combine with oxygen. So therefore, it is the tendency of an element, or it is the capacity of an element, combining capacity of an element with hydrogen or oxygen is called valency. But what is a valence electron? The number of outermost electron. So both are different. Therefore, valence is, what is the valency? The combining capacity of an element with what? With hydrogen or oxygen, not with any other element. With hydrogen or oxygen, called valency. Okay, so it is a definition of valency. Next, then how do you calculate valency? Let's see first types of valency. There are two types of valency we use. Types of valency. One, electrovalency. Second one is covalency, isn't it? There are two types of valency: electrovalency, covalency. Come on, tell me, this electrovalency we use for what? Metal element, metals. So generally electrovalency is used for metals. This covalency is used for non-metals. So therefore, what is the electrovalency? Electrovalency is nothing but it is the tendency of an element to lose electron, no? Or electrovalency equals to the number of electron lost by an element is electrovalency, right? Electrovalency is nothing but the number of electrons lost by an element is nothing but electrovalency. What is the covalency? The number of covalent bonds formed by an element. Covalency is nothing but the number of covalent bonds formed by an element is a covalency, right? So therefore, electrovalency is the number of electron, even loss also gain also. Electrons loss over or gain by an element. The number of electron loss or gain by an element is called electrovalency. For example, take sodium, magnesium, aluminium. Come and tell me, what is the electrovalency of sodium? 1, because it has one valence electron, it can lose 1. Magnesium 2, aluminium 3. Similarly, F, Cl, Br or S. Tell me, what is the electrovalency? It is valency. No, valency does not have minus plus. Valency does not have charges. If there is a charges, that is called oxidation number, right? It is just combining capacity, right? So therefore, here fluorine can lose one gain electron. Therefore, it is a 1 only. Chlorine can gain 1 electron. Sulfur can gain 2 electron. Like for example, oxygen 2, nitrogen 3. So therefore, it is electrovalency. Electrovalency is equals to number of electron lost or number of electron gain, right? So therefore, electrovalency equal to number of electron loss over or number of electron gain. Next, similarly, covalency. What is a covalency? Yeah, the number of covalent bonds formed by an element, right? The number of covalent bonds formed by an element. So number of covalent bonds formed by an element is called covalency. So therefore, tell me example. Let us take H2O, ammonia, okay, or HF, etc. Come on, or methane. Now tell me, what is the covalency? Here, what is the covalency of oxygen? 2. It form 2 bonds, no? Oxygen like this, no? It has 2 bonds. Therefore, its covalency is equals to 2. Ammonia, nitrogen can form 3 bonds. Therefore, its covalency is 3. Here, fluorine can form 1 bond. Covalency is 1. Carbon can form 4 bonds with hydrogen. Therefore, covalency is 4. Right? So, therefore, what is covalency equal to number of covalent bonds. Calculation of valency. Calculation of valency. Tell me, how do you calculate valency? So usually the valency of first and second group element. Can you tell me? What is the valency of first A and second A? It is 1, it is 2, right? Because so valence, in this case valency is equals to number of valence electron. So therefore generally for S block element, or else you can take in general S and P block element. For S and P block element, or else representative element is better. Representative elements, then how do you calculate valency? So here valency is equals to, it may be number of valence electron, this is one formula, or valency also equal to 8 minus number of valence electron. Another formula is valency also be equal to 8 minus number of valence electron. So therefore this formula can be used for particularly S and P block except 18th group. Why 18th group? Exception. Therefore here 18th group element have 0 valency. Their valency is 0, but how many valence electron? 8. Valence electrons are 8. So valence electron is 8, but valence is 0, that is 0 group elements. So therefore for representative elements you can calculate valency by any one of this formula. It may be equal to valence electron, or it may be equal to 8 minus valence electron. For example, as I told you, first group alkali metal, alkaline earth metal. All alkali metal valence is equals to 1. All alkaline earth metal valence is equals to 2. This is fixed. In case of boron family or third A, tell me, in case of third A, what is the valency? Valency is equals to 3 because number of valence electron. Or valency also be equal to 8 minus 3 equal to 5. Next, similarly 14th or 4th A group element, valency is equals to maybe 4, or valency also be equal to 8 minus 4, that is 4, right? So like that you can calculate the valency. Similarly 5th A, 6th A, 5th A, 6th A, 7th A. Come on, tell me, valency is equals to 5, here valence equal to 6, valence equal to 7, or it may be valence equal to 8 minus 5, 3, or valence equal to 8 minus 6, 2, or valence equal to 7 minus 1, and 8 minus 1, 7, 1. Okay, so therefore valency is this in case of representative elements. And 18th group element, we know it is 0. Then what about D block elements? For D block element, valence is variable. That means D block element shows variable valency. We study under separate property now. So yes, variable oxidation state, nothing but variable valency also. So here D block elements have variable valencies. Right? So what is the meaning of variable valencies? You know, yeah, different valencies exhibited by single element. For example, if you take manganese or iron, okay, take manganese. So this manganese element, it can exhibit +1 to means plus, that is a plus is oxidation state, 2 to 7 valencies, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So therefore, different valencies, you know, shown by or exhibited by same element is called variable valencies. So therefore, this is the property of D block or transition elements. We will study under separate topic in D block.
F block is 3.
So F block is generally 2 or 3. For F block element, they are not variable. They may have 3. Okay, they may have maximum 3 or 4 also. For F block element, they are not variable. Right, how does valency varies in a period and group? Let's see third period. Can you tell me what are the third period elements? Tell me. Sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon. Okay. Let us write here number of, take down, number of valence electrons also. Number of valence electron. Now tell me, sodium, it is a which group element? First A, 1. Magnesium, second A, 2. It is a third A, fourth A, it is fifth A, next sixth A, seventh A, it is 0. Right, number of valence electron, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it is number of valence electrons are 8. Now let's see what is the valency with respect to oxygen and hydrogen. Next column, right, valency with respect to hydrogen first. So what is the valency with respect to hydrogen? Come on, tell me. It is, no, sodium, we know sodium reacts with hydrogen, it forms sodium hydride, NaH, right? Next, magnesium, MgH2, magnesium hydride. Aluminium, aluminium hydride, AlH3. Silicon, like methane, silicane, SiH4. Phosphorus, phosphine, PH3, phosphine. Sulfur, H2, H2S, hydrogen sulfide. Chlorine, HCl. It is no compound. It means, now tell me, one sodium combined with how many hydrogen? 1. That means what is the valency with respect to hydrogen? 1. What is the valency with respect to hydrogen here? Magnesium 2, because 1 magnesium, 2 hydrogen. You see the ratio. Next, 1 aluminium, 3 hydrogen. 1 silicon, 4. Next, 1 phosphorus, 3, 2, 1. It is nil. It means what happened valency with respect to hydrogen from first A to fourth A increases. It means valency increases 1 to 4, then decreases 4 to 0. Right? That means in a given period, whatever the period you take, in a given period, valency with respect to hydrogen is increases 1 to 4, then decreases 4 to 0. Okay. Next, let's see with respect to hydrogen over oxygen. With respect to oxygen, come on, tell me. So valency with respect to oxygen, what happened here? Let's see, write the compound. Sodium plus oxygen, it form Na2O, sodium oxide, Na2O, not NaO2, right? Next, magnesium, MgO, it is a +2, it is -2 no, MgO. Aluminium, Al2O3, silicon, SiO2 like CO2, phosphorus, P2O5, sulfur, sulfur trioxide, it is Cl2O7, it is 0, no compound. Now tell me, so what is the ratio? Here 2 sodium, 1 oxygen. So it is a 2:1. Okay, if I take 1 sodium, it is 1 oxygen, no. What my question is, you just tell me ratio. 2:1. Okay, metal is 2, oxygen is 1. If I take oxygen is, metal is 1, oxygen become 1/2. Okay, then this 1/2 I will take 1. This is 1 equal to 2, right? This is ratio is 2:3. It means it is, it comes 3 no. Next, it is 4, it is 5, it is 6, it is 7, it is 0. It means the combining capacity of oxygen with the element from left to right is increases 1 to 7. Right? See, if I take, this is 1 oxygen, 2 sodium, 1 oxygen. Here 1 magnesium, 1 oxygen is 2 no. Do you understand? Next, here 2 aluminium, 3 oxygen, right? It is 3. Next, 1 silicon, 2 oxygen. It means if I take 2 here, it becomes 4. 2, it is 5. 1, 3, 6. 2, 7. Isn't it? Not clear. So therefore, the valency with respect to oxygen, okay, it is a 2:1, 2 sodium, 1 oxygen. It is a 1:1 is there. You can make it 2:2, right? It is a 2:3. It is 1:2 is there. You can make it 2:4, right? So like that. So valency 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is increases from left to right in a period. Increases 1 to 7. Then now what is the difference? Valency with respect to hydrogen, oxygen. The valency with respect to hydrogen increases 1 to 4, then decreases to 0, whereas valency with respect to oxygen increases 1 to 7. Of course, it is 0, is noble gas. Okay. So this is about valency. Right. Previously, one question was appeared in NEET. Question is this. Okay. Question is this. There are 4 elements A, B, C, D. I think in 2016 question paper, NEET. So there are 4 elements, A, B, C, D elements, and their atomic numbers given. This is a x minus 1. This is x. It is y. It is z. So these are what? Their atomic numbers of A, B, C, D, and it is mentioned that B is a noble gas. B is a noble gas. Then which of the following element can exhibit +2 oxidation state? This is a question. I repeat question one more time. Listen carefully. There are 4 elements, A, B, C, D, 4 elements. Their respective atomic numbers are what? X minus 1, X, Y, Z. And in question only it is mentioned that B is a noble gas. And question is, which of the following element can exhibit plus 2 oxidation state. It is nothing but you need to identify alkaline earth metal, which is alkaline earth metal, or which is a second group element. How do you identify here? Yeah, B is a noble gas. Before noble gas is what? Halogen 17th group. Okay, therefore, yeah, this is a halogen X minus 1. Next, after noble gas, again periodic table elements start with alkali metal. That is it is a first A, it is second A. Therefore, D can exhibit plus 2. That's the answer. Right? Right. Okay, right. That is also okay. That is still clear question. Okay, electropositivity. 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 Tell me, what is electropositivity and how does it